For a guy who claims, I hate America, he has no problem calling for all sorts of policies that are beneficial to a foreign country at the detriment of the American people. I'll give you a few examples. Ben Shapiro likes to fancy himself a fiscal conservative, but he's only a fiscal conservative when it comes to, Social Security, a program that we, the people, have paid into, that we fund. He says, it's contributing to our deficit. It's contributing to our debt. And it is true that the Social Security program is now giving out benefits, more benefits than we're taking in funding, but you can easily solve that by lifting the Social Security tax cap, which overwhelmingly has been benefiting the wealthiest people in this country. Just lift the cap, not that difficult. And if you do a comparative analysis, you'll notice that what has contributed to our debt more than anything has been the endless foreign wars the United States continues to fight on behalf of Israel. $8 trillion to fight Israel's wars in the Middle East after 9/11. And that tally keeps increasing, of course, as we fight Iran on behalf of Israel. So explain to me how Ben Shapiro loves America more than I do when he wants to deny the American people the very benefits that they paid into. But you'll never hear a peep when it comes to funding Israel's wars. That money is well spent, isn't it, Ben? There's more. Let's talk a little bit about what Ben had to say in regard to the Republican Party and their views on Israel, because he's wrong. Okay, in fact, Pew Research, this is a survey that we've cited many times, but 60% of US adults have an unfavorable view of Israel, according to Pew Research, up from 53% last year. In both political parties, Democrats and Republicans, majorities of adults under the age of 50 now rate Israel and Netanyahu negatively. Convenient that he left that out of his commentary, right? In fact, Brookings just put out a new survey, a poll to gauge how Americans are feeling about the Iran war. Let's focus on Republicans because what they had to say was super revealing. So the question is, in your opinion, what has been the overall impact of the war so far on American interests at home and abroad? American interests, not Israeli interests, American interests. And when it comes to that question, it turns out that Republicans assess it as more negative, 33%, than positive, 25%. There's more. Let's look at the next one. In your opinion, what has been the outcome of the war that the US and Israel initiated on Iran on February 28th, 2026? I'm gonna focus on Republicans because that's what we're debating about here, right? So 39% of Republicans say that the US has already won the war, which is laughable. 39% is a very small percentage of Republicans. 1% say that Iran has already won the war or is winning. 24% say neither side has won or is winning. 16% say it's too early to say. 21% say I don't know. So this idea that you have a united front in the Republican Party as it pertains to their perception of Israel, their support of Israel, Ben Shapiro is wrong, and he knows he's wrong. And he's lashing out because he's seeing prominent people on the right, media figures who have some of the top podcasts and shows in the country, speaking out openly against the precious country that he loves, obviously more than he loves America. Other things that I just want to mention real quickly. Has he spoken out at all about the idea of merging the bloodthirsty IDF with our military? Section 224 in the National Defense Authorization Act. Is he at all worried about that? Of course not. Of course not. Of course, the whole point of Section 224 is to ensure that Israel is able to exploit our military and its resources with less transparency, because the American people don't want to have this relationship with Israel. They want to stop sending Israel billions of dollars every single year as part of the memorandum of understanding. So Netanyahu comes out and he says, oh, we don't want to take money from the United States anymore. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Homeboy is drafting up a provision in the next National Defense Authorization Act to ensure that we merge our militaries. That way you don't have to worry about an MOU. We just get to exploit the US military as we please. Does Shapiro have anything to say about that? No, of course not, of course not. Has he posted anything about the two, not one, two separate intelligence reports that found Israeli spying on US officials so intense, so extreme, so aggressive that Israel is now spying on us more intensely than our adversaries? Does Ben have anything to say about that? Because I'm pissed about that. Ben Shapiro doesn't seem pissed. He hasn't even mentioned it. So who loves America more, Ben? And whatever you do, I'm telling you, do not do this. Do not look up the Apollo affair of the 1960s when Zelman Shapiro, Ben Shapiro's uncle, was the president of the Nuclear Materials and Equipment Corporation in Apollo, Pennsylvania, where hundreds of kilograms of highly enriched uranium just went missing. Don't look that up. Don't look that up. Don't look up the NSA archives as I did. Don't look up the declassified FBI documents on that. Because Ben seems to come from a long line of individuals, family members, who seem to prioritize and value Israel before the United States. So don't you dare tell me that I'm anti-American because I refuse to bow down to Israel, because I refuse to call whoever Israel claims is a terrorist. I think Israel is full of terrorists, and I think Ben is full of crap. The freaking balls on that guy to insult Shawn Ryan, who went to wars, fought in wars that we shouldn't have even been involved in, but we were involved in them at the behest of Israel. Sit down, Ben, and shut up.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.